Good evening. I'm Bill. I'm the devil. Well, William Zebub, Bill Zebub. Bill Zebub, Beelzebub. So you'd have worked that one out by now if you tuned into this station. Should have worked that one out by now, shouldn't you? William Zebub, Beelzebub, Beelzebub. Yes. Long story cut short. You have won. You've beaten me. Congratulations, you have won. I'm defeated. You have created a hell on your planet worse than I can possibly imagine. I have to admit defeat now. I am Bill, the devil. I have to admit defeat. You have created a worse hell than I could possibly imagine. Fuck it. Look at Africa. Look at Africa. You have the Ebola virus in Africa, don't you? And you have a hell of a lot of fucking illness in Africa, and sickness and AIDS. You've got a hell of a lot of AIDS in Africa as well. There's a lot of AIDS going on in Africa still, straight and gay. A lot of people dying from AIDS still because they can't afford to pay for the medicine because their governments are shit. The governments in Africa are crap if they can't afford medicine to feed the people who are living in these shanty towns. And I don't know if you've ever noticed it on these videos. Some of the Africans are living in fucking cardboard boxes and fucking bits of wooden shack with fucking corrugated iron over it. And you created a hell in Africa that is unbelievable. To think 500 years ago, well, probably less than that even, Africa was a beautiful country, beautiful nation. Different tribe in every, imagine about, how many tribes do you have in Africa? About 50, 60, 70, I don't know. How many villages did you have? Every village had a tribe, didn't they? Yeah, in Africa. And a few hundred, before the slave thing and all, before the Britons invaded Africa, Africa was beautiful. And before the Christians invaded Africa. I don't know why blacks love Christian music so much, because it was the Christians who turned the blacks into slaves. I don't understand why you've got all this gospel, this black gospel, oh God, you're so brilliant. Jesus, love you, in his gospel music. When it was the bloody Christians who turned the fucking Africans into fucking slaves, right? It was the white fucking Christians who turned the bloody Africans into fucking slaves. Yet you have your gospel music going, Jesus, so love you, what wanking shit crap that is. It's your hell. You live in it. Anyway, yeah. And kind of like, what Africa is fucking a mess, isn't it? For instance. But then again, you look at what you need for Africa is one president. No, one star, or one. You need one thing for Africa, a heart for Africa, or a brain for Africa. One person to sort of like put all the different fucking continents together, like a president of Africa. You know, like how in America, it sort of works in America, kind of sort of works in America. Is you have the in America you've got the president, well, bumbling buffoon, And then you got the oh bugger, hamburger restaurant. Now, but you know, you got, and then you got all the different states, and each state has their politics. Because America's quite big. It's not quite as big as Africa. Africa's bigger than America, isn't it? But Africa, remember in Africa, South Africa, it was apartheid, wasn't it? Do you remember in South Africa in the 70s, 80s, 60s, whatever? Well, 100 years before that, probably, like with the most of the world. You had apartheid in South Africa, didn't you? So maybe something you could sort of like spring from South Africa and spread around the rest of it. You know, get someone to do it. I don't know much about it, really. I'm just sort of like saying you've made a fucking, Africa looks like a fucking shithole, don't they? Fucking gorgeous fucking guys. Don't niggas turn you on? I'm not supposed to say. I love black guys actually, too. Some of them are really fucking hot, you know? Especially when they take the shirt off. Anyway, yes, yeah, but then again, you look at Saudi Arabia and look at the state of that, all this Muslim fanaticism. You know, you go to they go to these fucking mosques and they hide their faces, you know. They go to mosques and say, Allah, Allah, love you, love you, love you. Of course I'll work if it goes a long way, I'll probably won't work. And they go 5 times a day or something like that. Don't you think that would give God a bit of a headache if God was listening? That would probably give God a bit of a headache, wouldn't it? La la la, 5 times a fucking day. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Fuck off, you fucking bastard. Kind of thing. Don't think so, sorry. What possible God would want you to cut off people's hands? Here's a good question about the Middle East. What kind of a God, what possible God, would want you to cut the hands of people, or the hands of children? I've seen them do that. I've seen them crush children's hands. That's gross. You sick fuckers. You sick fuckers. I'd like to destroy you, please. I don't like you very much in the Middle East. Because you cut hands off people. That's what I need is hands. For God's sake, man. Use a little bit of a brain. Use a little bit of brain. If you cut someone's hand off, they are well. No, actually, I can't say that. No, that's not quite true because I've got a friend who's lost a hand, Kieran, and he's on my postal lounge. I'm a postman. Kieran, he's lost his right hand. Kieran has. I mean, but if you look at, but he still goes and fucking works every day. He actually goes to work every day. That's what I've noticed. That he does a lot of jobs and shit. He's fucking clever dude, man. Serious clever dude. He's only got one hand, left hand. But I've seen him working on the market. You know, I mean, he used to work on the market and with a stump. So he's amazing what some people can do. Anyway, yeah, but what I'm saying is about these Arabs, they cut people's hands off, they cut children's hands off. I've seen that, I've heard about it and stuff, but I've seen it, so they cut people's hands off. These Arab fanatics, they cut people's hands off in Muslim, in the name of God, in the name of Allah. Is Allah God? Allah. Who is Allah? I'm Bill. So who is your God? You pray to Allah for 5 days a week, 5 times a day or something. You cut people's hands off or cut their throats and cut their heads off still. It's the 21st fucking century. And we still have this problem with people having their heads cut off. It is a big problem, isn't it? In the name of God, they say, in the name of Allah, I will cut your hand off. Look, people aren't very useful if they've got no hands. Now, if you want to punish someone for a crime, you get them to be useful, you see. If someone is clever with their fingers and knows how to steal a loaf of bread, you say, right, okay then, you can steal a loaf of bread? Good. I could use a pair of hands. What about a baker boy? You become a baker boy and deliver bread. If, for instance, if you steal a loaf of bread, you say, right, then I'll give you a job. And you say, right, the baker says, right, you've just stolen my loaf. This can make a good story, actually. I might make the story in a minute. I'll make it now. All right, but I'll tell you the story of the baker. There's a little boy in the village, right, who had no money, and his family was starving, right? Yes, I'm making it up right now. Complete new story, invented right now. I ain't got time to write it down. Once upon a time, there was this village, and there was a poor little boy whose mummy and daddy had no money to buy food. So this boy ran down to the village shops. And there was a bakery in the village. There's a bakery in the centre of the village shops. And the boy stole a loaf of bread to feed to his family, so he could feed his family. The little boy ran to the baker's and he stole a loaf of bread to feed to his family. And the baker catches the little boy. You see, the baker runs after the little boy, you see. The baker runs after the little boy and he catches the little boy. He says to the little boy, right, put that bread back. Put the bread back. The boy puts the bread back and the baker says, right, you're good with your hands, yes? And the boy nods and the baker says, right, I'll give you a job. First job is to pick up that loaf. And your first job is to take that loaf of bread back to your family. And then your next job is to come back here. And then your next job is to learn how to bake the bread. Right? And I'll give you a penny a week or whatever the wage was in those days. I'll give you a penny a day. And I'll teach you how to bake the bread and to knead the dough. Because we all need money, don't we? We all need dough, don't we? Everybody needs dough. Everybody needs a little bit of cash. Everybody needs a little bit of money. Everybody needs a little bit of dough. Just to tide them over. So the baker gives the boy a penny. The boy learned how to knead the dough, because that saved the baker doing it. Comes back the next day and the baker says, right, now I want you to deliver the bread to everybody in the village who wants a loaf of bread. And the baker boy gets on the bicycle and he rides the village to the village, getting to know everybody and delivering the bread. He goes back to the baker and the baker gives him another penny. And the baker says, did you get to know the villagers who you delivered the bread to? And the baker boy says, yeah, I did. They're nice people. And what do you think of me? Asked the baker. And the baker boy says, you're quite a nice person too. And the baker says, well then, you just earned 2 pennies and you didn't have to spend a penny. You didn't have to steal from me. Is that true? You didn't have to steal from me and you earned 2 pence. And the boy nods and says, yeah. And the baker says, well then, you have a job if you want one. And then you will never have to steal again.